Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 9th, 2021 regular council meeting of the town of Port Royal. We have the council here, and I believe we have Mayor DeVito virtually. Mayor, are you with us?
Yes, Jerry, I am. Thank you.
Good. Thank you everyone who's tuned in, and thank you everyone for being here. We'll start as per the ordinance 2020-15. Members of the public have submitted written or public comments to the town clerk no later than 1 hour prior to the meeting. Next order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. If we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, Mayor Bethany Wilson, pledge please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sir, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Father, we thank you for this opportunity as we assemble before you. We thank you for the business that we are about to undertake on this evening. We thank you that the decisions made will be pleasing and for the betterment of this town. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. All right. Item number 3 on our agenda is the approval of minutes. We have 6 sets of minutes from the budget workshop of May 5th, public hearing of May 5th, council workshop of May 5th, council budget workshop of May 12th, regular council meeting of May 12th. What's the pleasure of council?
I move that we approve the minutes from May 5th, council budget workshop, public hearing May 5th, council workshop on May 5th, council budget workshop on May 12th, and the regular council meeting on May 12th.
We have, do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Thank you. All minutes are approved. Next up on our agenda is item number 4. It's a presentation by Mr. Noah Krutz, Bike and Pedestrian Plan. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Happy to be here. Excited to get started this week, and everybody's been really welcoming. And it's been a good first couple of days, so I'm looking forward to being here for the long haul. So, y'all received a few slides from Brooke in the agenda. This plan has been in the works for let's say a year and a half at this point. End of 2019, we began to put together a task force at the county. If you don't know, I was a planner for the county for the past 2.5 years or so. So this was a project that was mine there. And so Rob Merchant and I decided that we should probably try to keep teaming up, as this is a regional project. So that's why I'm here in front of you rather than needed right now. Well, just if you'll note, just by those logos on that title slide, this is a task force that has representation from all over the region. Every municipality, sans Genesee, but including Hardyville and Jasper County, local advocacy groups, Spanish Moss Trail, Coastal Conservation League, and the East Coast Greenway. So, Brooke, if you could go to the next slide. Thank you. Stay with me. Oh, I'm sorry. You both look like you were scrolling. So this task force was put together, came together over the course of several months to figure out a mission to connect the bicycle and pedestrian network throughout the county and hopefully to neighboring counties as well. The objectives of the plan of this group were to make connections linking people to jobs, schools, parks, neighborhoods to neighborhoods, and implemented in a way that is for all and gives people from all over the community the opportunity to access the multi-use pathway system. And so, that got messed up. The next one, did it get messed up on yours, Van? No. That's good.
You want this one?
Yeah, you can go to the Y plan one.
There
I won't go through all of this with you. There are a host of reasons that any community should plan for bicycle and pedestrian. anywhere from public health to, you know, emissions from traffic. You know, as we've seen with the Spanish Moss Trail, people want to come to an area where there are places for them to bike and walk on neat trail networks. It increases community. I know anybody who walks on the trail here has a story about, or tells somebody when they get to work the next day, saw so-and-so on the trail and we talked about this, and so it builds that community for folks. And so when this task force got together and we set these objectives out, we decided we needed to figure out a way to guide this planning process. So we put together 3 guiding principles. The first of which is make connections. That was kind of our task all along. The second, target the interested but concerned group. There are 4 types of cyclists that are generally used in these studies across the country. It was developed in Portland, but it's used nationwide now. They range from a fearless cyclist to someone who doesn't want to ride no matter what the circumstances are. The interested but concerned group is about 60% generally anywhere you go. I think ours, when we did a survey last summer, and I believe it was about 58% of respondents out of 2,800 were in this group. So targeting, how can we, you know, through pathways, signage, wayfinding, education, get those types of people to want to get out there and use trail network as either recreation or transportation, or both. Then the third principle is the spine and spur approach.
Oh, my bad.
You're fine. And that's just simply identify a major spine through the region, and then begin to build pathway spurs out to places that people want to get to from that spine. So that visual, I guess, might give you an idea of what I'm talking about, but we kind of have the beginnings of that already in the county with the trail, with the Bluffton Parkway pathways, and with the Hilton Head Island pathway network as well. So there's a great building block there. And then on the next slide, I just wanted to show you the left. You'll see, and it's kind of hard to see with the color on these screens, but hopefully you'll get the gist. The map on the left is showing any pathways that exist currently in the county. Those are in blue, which the blue is not really popping next to that blue water on the screen. And the purple would be committed projects, mostly penny referendum projects through the county. Any of those projects that did not make the prioritization list for the county's sales tax projects have been included in this plan. And then the visual on the right is imagining in multiple phases based on the colors what a fully implemented pathway network would look like throughout the county. And you can see all of those different colored lines on that map are projects that are included in this plan. You know, the task force had representation from everywhere, so we worked really hard to kind of spread the love to get those projects down on the list. And then the last couple of things I wanted to talk to you about were just kind of, you know, very rough kind of what kind of costs we're looking at, and what funding sources are available. So the opportunity here is that, you know, this network is costly. There are a bunch of different jurisdictions that are going to be involved with this, as well as the state and so on. But it creates a great opportunity for different jurisdictions in the county to work together to make sure that plans are aligned. You know, the fringes of the city and the town are not pathway going up one side of the street and down the other, you know. So through, you know, different jurisdictions looking into these funding sources and applying regularly, I think that overall the revenue will be there to keep implementing these projects over the next 10 to 15 years. And I kind of got ahead of myself. The last slide there, Van, is some of the benefits of municipalities and the county alike kind of adopting. If you could go back down to the last one. Sorry.
Oh, the last one. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, the coordination between the municipalities and the other regional plans is huge because it takes a lot to get one single project off the ground. There has to be buy-in from people. There has to be that willingness to really put this on the forefront of what's important to us. And so we get into partnerships, jurisdictions working together to get multi-jurisdictional grants. Things can get kind of hectic, so there's one of the recommendations of the plan would be to have someone probably at the county level coordinating all of that. And just a cohesive network across the board. Again, just making sure that things are connected and getting people to where they need to go as efficiently as possible and equal access for everybody. So I guess to wrap it up, I just wanted to kind of give you all some information and background on the work that's been done. There's still some vetting going on. County engineering has been looking at the projects to make sure they line up with all of the sales tax projects. So that'll probably set it back a little bit. The end goal in mind was to get municipalities and the county to all have some form of resolution to adopt policies and the program recommendations in the plan. And it kind of will set the framework for locals and the county to move forward with more precise implementation and further planning for these kinds of facilities. So that's what I have for you tonight. If y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Sure.
The map that you showed of the fully implemented plans and the one that had the, yes, there it is, with the existing and committed projects. Those committed projects that's outlined in the purple.
Correct.
Are those county funded or privately funded?
They are county, I think all but the Hilton Head pathways that you see in purple there are fully county
Have they already
sales
been
tax
approved?
projects. Well, there are 14 prioritized pathways out that came out of the 2020 something penny referendum. So that referendum had, I think, 25 or so projects, and the money wasn't there from the referendum. So they're all included. The ones that were prioritized by county council are listed there in the purple.
In the purple, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
What midterm, long-term, what's that look like?
So immediate term, we kind of had pegged as, 0 to 2 years, midterm 3 to 5,
Okay.
I believe, and then long-term 6+.
Okay.
And the idea is to have, there's an implementation kind of playbook in the plan that lays out the steps that need to be taken by whoever is coordinating, if there is a bike and ped coordinator or a steering committee. And so they would have that discretion to pick and choose, this project, something happens that makes this project way more feasible than it used to be, then let's bring it to the forefront and make sure it happens as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see where that little U upside of U, where that's located. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, the one right below the Beaufort label?
Yes.
That is, I think it goes down to Burton, no. I've been staring at these maps for 2 years and I still don't know which one that is.
Burton Wells, probably.
Is that the Burton Wells, the Rosita?
The U.
The U shape?
Right below Beaufort, the B in
Yes,
Beaufort.
the horseshoe.
Right there. Can't blow it up.
It's not irrelevant.
That's the old, yeah, thank you. That's the Old Salem Road.
Oh,
I
that's-
believe the U-shape is Salem Road.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Excellent.
And I apologize for not properly introducing Noah. We were trying to pull the presentation up, and he just rolled right into it. We do baptism by fire, and everybody in front of you ready to get go.
So Noah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
Welcome to Port Royal.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. As I said, I've worked for the county the past 3 years. I was a substitute teacher and a special ed assistant at Beaufort Middle prior to that. I moved here from Pennsylvania about 6 years ago with my now wife. She's a second grade, going to be third grade teacher at Port Royal Elementary. we lived in town the last 3 years or so, and we had to move to Ladies Island for the last 8 months, and next week we're moving back to town, so I'm happy about that. We have, I mean, when we moved to Beaufort, this was the place that we thought this is where we actually love to be, so we're beyond thrilled, and I'm beyond thrilled to be working here. I don't know. Anything else you want to know? Appreciate it.
Thank
Glad to
you
be
for
here.
all you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's drinking from a fire hose right now, stepped right into the middle of the.
Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead,
PUD.
Mayor.
No, welcome also to town. You and I have gotten an opportunity to work together, and I look forward. I do have a question about the bike paths on the map. Can we bring the map back up again?
Did you want the one that shows what the implemented projects look like, or the existing?
The existing and the implemented, it doesn't matter because I guess they're on both. The existing is on the implemented.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Are we not missing Savannah Highway?
Yeah. There's.
Savannah Highway has a bike path on both sides from the Broad River Bridge to Paris Island Gateway. I don't see that. Am I missing it?
No, you're not missing it. So
It's not there.
this is just multi-use pathways as they currently exist. So it doesn't include, just for the sake of these two specific maps, it doesn't include bike lanes or sidewalks.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of, you might see on these two maps a little bit of gap because, you're not seeing the bike lane from the Woods Bridge to, out to Hunting or something like that, or down to McTier or so on.
So when the committee was thinking about this and producing these maps, they didn't consider if there's a bike lane with a parallel sidewalk, a multi-use scenario? I would have thought that would have been considered as a default multi-use.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I think that the task force kind of got to the conclusion that to really make this the kind of network that's going to allow the most people to use it, that trying to implement new, 10 to 12 foot multi-use pathways like the Spanish Moss Trail in as many places as possible should be the focus. Now, the connections that can be made with on-street and sidewalk facilities, there's the opportunity written into this plan for that to happen. But yeah, you're right that those aren't shown on these maps currently. And
Okay.
if that's something that we want to make happen, I can talk to Rob and see if he wants to add some more things to these so that it looks a little bit clearer.
Yeah, I think when there's both, I'm not saying if it's just a bike lane, because I
Right, yeah.
understand the cyclist who wants to ride in the road and the many that don't, but
Yeah.
I think when there's both together, it kind of makes that multi-use feel like it's in place. And it's just a conversation you can have with the group, and it would be a good way for us in the town of Port Royal to be able to show where we have sidewalks / bike lanes use in that scenario already existing. So connectivity of neighborhoods, shopping, and that type of scenario. That's where I'm thinking in my head now.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll take that to the group that I'm thankfully no longer in charge of, and we'll we'll see if we can figure out how to get that in there.
Very good.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor DeVito. Is there anything else, sir?
Nope, thank you, Jerry.
Yes, sir. All
Thanks,
right.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Noah, and pleasure to see you, and welcome to town. All right, moving on, section 5. We've got second reading on about 4 ordinances. Van, you want to take the lead and just
Sure.
go there?
Yeah, we'll start with ordinance 2021-18, an ordinance amending Chapter 12 licenses and business regulations, Article 5 short-term rentals, Section 12 through 64 accommodations fee required of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina, creating a unique identifier for each short-term rental. One of the things that we came across as a particular difficulty when trying to figure out fees related to these units was our inability to kind of identify them. And so it was suggested that we draft an ordinance that would create an identifier that would be used by each of the units across all marketing platforms, that we could potentially better track how they're their scheduling and making sure that the fees submitted to the town or remitted to the town are correct and appropriate. So that's what this ordinance does.
And this is second reading.
Yes, sir.
All right, what is the pleasure of council?
I move that we approve ordinance 2021-18.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Questions?
Mayor DeVito, we have a motion, and a second, and council is all signified by raising their hand. What is your vote, sir?
My vote is aye also. Sorry if you can't see me, I'm raising my hand.
You're raising your hand? Okay. So I think we've got 5 ayes for the record. All right, thank you. Next up is ordinance 2021-19. Van, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's
please?
an ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, Map 10, parcel 0144. This is 80 feet located on 14th Street. This is a sidewalk conveyance that we typically do that is in compliance with the sidewalk construction program. I'm bringing up on your screens a map that shows the location of the sidewalk. It obviously will tie into existing sidewalk, so it does meet the policy.
You said it does meet the
Yes.
policy? Right, okay.
Good. Okay. All right, and that is also one of our must-dos. So what is the pleasure of council?
I'll make a motion, we approve 2021-19.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, motion and a second. Council, how do you vote?
Aye.
All
Aye.
in favor? Mayor DeVito, how do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Aye, and I vote aye, so we have 5 ayes. Ordinance approved. Next ordinance. Town manager, can you talk about this one for us, please?
All right, this is ordinance 21-20, an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 2, Stopping, Standing, and Parking, Section 19-31, under the jurisdiction of the Police Department of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina. This ordinance was drafted to address weight. When I say weight, the actual weight of a vehicle, and for our purposes, it's curb weight, which is empty weight, and time limit on the right-of-ways. The way this is drafted now is it limits it to 3 hours parking in the town right-of-way. I've got a copy or the draft of the ordinance up on the screen now. I have several comments that have asked to be read into the
Sure.
record, and we probably should do that at this time if that's okay with y'all.
Absolutely.
All right. The first is from Debbie Ball. Dear Mayor and council members, I'm concerned about the proposed change to our parking ordinance restricting the vehicle weight of 7,500 pounds within town right away for more than 3 hours. I've heard conflicting reasons for this change. Is it because of aesthetics in the town? I've also heard that the weight of the vehicles puts the underground utilities in jeopardy. Is this correct? Is there proof of that? I'm concerned that by passing this ordinance so quickly without obtaining more facts, that it might cause more issues than not. There are many trucks that exceed 7,500 pounds. This would also affect a boat hooked up to a truck for more than 3 hours. I'm asking the town to hold off on this decision until we get more information. Maybe we could increase the pound limit or increase the time that the vehicle can be parked on the right-of-way. This just seems to be a very rushed ordinance change. Please read this at the council meeting and enter into the record. Thank you. The second is from, I believe it's Tim Ball. Dear Mayor, Town Council, and Town Manager, I would like to express my concern about the proposed ordinance concerning parking on the street right-of-way by trucks over 7,500 pounds. My concern is that there does not appear to be any evidence presented that justifies an ordinance. Are there documented incidents that show that this is an issue? Are there documented evidence of damage? Would this affect the school buses that park on Richmond Avenue near the YMCA? Would this affect lawful business owners that park utility trucks and box trucks in the right-of-way easements in front of their property? What about RV owners and boat owners? Additionally, I'm concerned that this issue stems from a neighbor dispute, and I would hate to see all citizens' property rights so easily disregarded to appease a single citizen without significant evidence that there is a problem. I think a more prudent response would be to make a greater effort to mitigate that problem through mediation. We are a growing urban resort community and not an HOA community of retired persons. We can all be happy here, but we need to extend grace as much as reasonable without jumping to pass an ordinance. Just my opinion. feel free to make it your own. Best regards, Tim Ball. And I have one more. Hello, Councilman Owens. I was thinking about you and how you came down to the docks on the 4th of July to buy shrimp to benefit the docks. You even called your friends in front of me and they came down and bought some shrimp too. I'm forever grateful to you for all of the support you gave me during that time. I don't know what it's like being a council person. I don't know the pressures that you're under. I know that you have a lot of people that are relying on you to make votes their way. Allow the residents that already live in the Port Royal zoning lines to continue to park the vehicles whether the vehicle can be used commercially or not, so that residents can drive back and forth to work. An example of a truck owner would be my son. He has worked for Low Country Concrete for years. During COVID, he helped build the bridge to Hunting Island. He takes care of all their large equipment. Ryan also works for John Trask Farms, and he also works for Patterson Construction and is maintaining the equipment that is building the new Beaufort County School District. He's a hardworking kid. He also attends university full-time as he works towards becoming a Marine Corps officer. Ryan has a white truck that he drives back and forth to work. I think he should be allowed to park in front of his house or in his driveway anytime he needs to, just like all the other people who are driving away from Port Royal to work and driving home at night, back to their homes to be with their families. If you can do anything to help your fellow council people learn from you, advise them that residents who already live here who just happen to be driving a truck that used commercially elsewhere can still come home to their homes and park here in the right-of-way that they share with the town of Port Royal. Let them know that you don't exclude any of your residents from their parking rights, whether they're working people, retirees, or just families starting out. You represent everyone. Thank you, Darrell. Good luck in all things. Miss Lorene Nance. And those are the three.
All right. What is the pleasure of council?
I ask a couple of questions, I guess you're calling for a motion, or can?
You can ask some questions.
There are some questions that I asked earlier. There were 3 comments that were read into the records. I believe there were some last week as well that we had.
I mean, y'all have all received emails.
Right.
I mean, and if you want to read those emails out
No,
loud, I'd be happy to do
I'm not
that.
asking to read them again also, but it seems to me that there seems to be a lot of questions surrounding this also in its origin as to how did it come about, as to why is it so imperative that we modify the existing ordinance based on very few concerns. And the question that I asked also earlier, previously, was how many registered complaints did law enforcement receive in regards to some type of violation for vehicles being parked in areas that they should not be parked, or how many accidents potentially may have been attributed to these obstructions and so forth. And I could not get those also in. What I'm hearing is, of course, on both sides, of course, that this may be potentially some type of trivial dispute between 2 neighbors. And if that is the case, does it warrant modification to the ordinance? And if in the future, if we're gonna do this, it will set a precedent. If in the future, a couple of individuals have some disagreements, are we going to modify ordinances to settle this dispute? So those were my concerns, and I think it's just a little ambiguous for us right now to actually modify an ordinance with such limited reasons as to why we should.
Thank you.
If I may,
Absolutely. Darrell, you finished?
I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
my concern is that all of a sudden we get an ordinance last week that came on without even any discussion that there was even an issue. And then all of a sudden, now we're gonna change an ordinance? I guess I find that a little difficult. Nobody ever brought any questions or problems or complaints to us as a council. You know, all of a sudden, if we wanna change the law for 1 or 2 people, at this point, I would say that ordinance 2021-20 be squished.
Be squished. I hear you. Any other comment, Mary Beth?
No, sir.
Kevin, how about you down there? Anything for the good of the group?
No, sir, I voted against it last time. so.
We
Okay.
still have to have a motion. A motion, you have to.
So what is the
So-
pleasure of council?
I'd like to make a motion that ordinance 2021-20 be not passed and that it would fail.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor of her motion? raise your hand. Mayor DeVito, we have a motion and a second.
Yeah, I voted for the motion as well.
Okay, so that's 5. Okay, motion fails. I mean, the ordinance fails.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, Van.
Ordinance, 21-21, the ordinance amending chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina, to authorize meetings to be held by a telephonic or other electronic means and matters related thereto. We've discussed this previously. This would give y'all the opportunity to participate in meetings electronically, as we're doing here, on a routine basis if necessary.
In the times in which, oh, I'm sorry.
You're fine, go ahead.
No, you didn't call for a motion.
Okay, what's the pleasure of council?
Okay, I move that in the times at which we are in currently, I move that we approve ordinance 2021-21.
So I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Mayor, we have 4 in favor. What is your vote, sir?
I am also in favor, raising my hand.
Okay, that's 5 in favor.
If you weren't, we're gonna pull the plug.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'd get off early tonight if it went to no.
All right, item number 6, first reading. Van, could you read us in on there, please?
Yeah, ordinance 21-24, an ordinance to approve the court department budget for the fiscal year beginning July 2021. This would be a separate budget line item to address some concerns that were raised, that you would be adopting a separate budget ordinance for this particular department and the amount of, hold on one second.
Can I just really quick, Councilman Ashmore, I'm going to recuse myself from this portion of the agenda as that I do contract work for the Beaufort County Public Defender's Office, and seeing how this
For the record,
budget
Councilman.
affects that, I'm gonna recuse myself from this. I'll step out and let y'all talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. For the record, let the record show that Kevin has recused himself from this discussion and has left the building.
Not left the building.
Left the room. That was Elvis that left the building, wasn't
That's
it?
right, that's right. Lord.
All right, discussion?
That's for
And just for the record, there's the budget. It's for the $153,505.
Okay. And this is just, okay, never mind. I answered my question. Are we back in court now, full on?
Kind of.
Okay,
Yeah, we are. We're doing, yeah.
okay.
So the increase is the health insurance, the essentially, benefits are the contributing factor to the increases for this year. Let's see. Okay, and for salary. No,
Retirement.
so 2%, okay. All right,
Everybody good with it?
I'm
Okay.
good with it.
What's the pleasure of council?
I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2021-24.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right. Mayor DeVito, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2021-24. How do you vote, sir?
Aye.
Aye? So we have 4 ayes and we have 1 recusal. Cool, thank
Mr.
you.
Ashford, he can come back.
Can
All right,
someone
Kevin.
Go outside and get,
He's
Kevin?
coming.
Okay.
Did you watch it on
Thank you for
Facebook?
All right, next up, council action. We have 1 appointment, and that's for the Design Review Board. And this is actually a reappointment. and
Yes,
that's
it is.
Richard Beasley. Dan, can you speak to that?
I expressed an interest in serving another term.
How long is it? Is it 2-year terms?
It's a 4
4 years.
it's 4 years that he can serve twice, so this would be his second.
The second.
Okay, okay. And I serve on behalf of the council on the DRB and attend most every meeting. I couldn't this past week because we had our legislative delegation. But Richard does a very good job. He's well prepared. He's active. He asks very good questions. And he does his homework. So what's the pleasure of council on this one?
I commend anyone that, wants to serve in the town, in any capacity. And so with that being said, and there were no other submissions, for any other interests, I move that we approve, Richard for reappointment.
I'll second that because I feel like anybody that's been there 4 years and knows what it's all about and knows what hard work you have to put into it is willing to serve again. I think we should accept that.
So we have a motion and a second. Council, how do you vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes, Mayor. Mayor DeVito, how do you vote, sir?
The mayor's also aye.
So that's
Thank you,
5
Richard.
ayes. Let the record show that's 5 ayes. Richard, congratulations, and thank you for your service to the town. Next up is item 8, important information and dates, and I'm sure our town manager will be happy to enlighten us on what we've got upcoming here in the town.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday, June 11 and 12, the 2021 YMCA Beaufort River Swim and Run. On Tuesday, June 15th at 4:30 is the Redevelopment Commission. Also Tuesday, June 15th at 5:30 p.m. is a special meeting. Friday, June 21 at 11 a.m. is the Blue Channel Marker Ceremony that y'all are all invited to. Sunday, July 4th is our 4th of July celebration and fireworks. And then on Monday, July 5th, we will be closed.
Man, can you speak to the council meeting just for the benefit of those online or watching us? Just kind of talk to that just a minute.
Yeah, we'll give second reading to the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. And the other items potentially are changes to the PUD governing the Port of Port Royal.
Okay. Mayor DeVito, do you have any dates that you're aware of we need to discuss?
No dates that I need to add to the list that we have in front of us at this point.
Okay. Next item number 9 is council comments. So for the good of the group, Kevin, do you have anything for the council you'd like to share with us?
Just with the upcoming dates, I've been getting, a lot of people are very excited about July 4th, so I just hope everybody just be prepared for it. I think it's gonna be a pretty big event, so, yeah.
That's great. Cool. Mary Beth?
I'm excited we're doing 4th of July again. I mean, just people getting out, just be careful, wear your mask if you have to. Just, we still have COVID, even though it's not on the run like it was, but it's the potential still there. So enjoy while we can. Let's make the best of it, and that's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you. How about you?
I have no comments. Just everyone remain safe.
Excellent. Mayor DeVito, we're at council comments. Do you have anything for the good of the group you'd like to add, sir?
The only thing I would add is that the legislative reception that was held last week, I think it was very productive for the town. I appreciate everybody who joined us. We got an opportunity to speak with all the local legislative, state legislative, and a federal legislative, and I think that type of interaction can only, again, remind everybody what a beautiful place we have here in the town of Port Royal, and thank everybody that joined us.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Next up, item number 10 is public comments. Ms. Brooke, do we have any public comments tonight?
No further than.
Nothing? Okay. Well, we have gone through our meeting. We got down to the public comments. Now we're down to the adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
I got that.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for being here. Have a good